Hi everyone. So today in this video we are going to cover unit 5 one shot series of this cloud computing syllabus. This is the last unit of this syllabus, which is the cloud applications, emerging trends and case studies. Basically, here are some new technologies we are going to discuss. So let's get started with our first topic of this unit, which is Hadoop. So Apache Hadoop is an open source framework used for distributed storage and processing of large dataset across the clusters of computer using simple programming model. Now what does it mean? So forget Hadoop for a time being and can you recall the basics of big data, which simply implies that big data is a type of data which cannot be handled by simple frameworks. So for handling the big data, we would be requiring some of the open source framework that are dedicatedly handling the huge amount of data which is being processed and then stored in the distributed storage manner. Like there are multiple components of Hadoop as well, which are HDFS, which is the Hadoop distributed file system, which is used for the storage, and there is the MapReduce, which is used for the data processing feature. So basically Hadoop is a framework which used to manage all these things about the big data, and it consists of these two components, which are the distributed file system whose primary objective is to store the data in the distributed file systems, and then there is map storage, which is used for the data processing feature. Now let's get into that. What is this MapReduce? See, HDFS, you are all with clear with that HDFS is nothing but a simple distributed system in which we have multiple data storage centers which are distributedly means connected over the globe, and from there the data is processed into the MapReduced, which is basically for the data processing only. So let us understand that what do you mean by this MapReduce feature. So MapReduce is the programming model which is used for processing and generating the large data set by dividing the task into the smaller subtasks and executing them in parallel across the multiple machines in a distributed environment. So what does basically MapReduce states? MapReduce is that you are taking the big data set and dividing them into smaller subtasks and then execute them parallelly across the various machine, so that your job executes fast, and also it is much easier to handle small chunks of data instead of just handling whole big data at once. Now the picture would be more clear when, like, let us understand with this example, and then it might more it get more clear. See, in this example, this is a very best example to understand Hadoop and MapReduce as well. So for example, this is the data that we are inputting. This is an apple and apple is red in color. So this is the input of two sentences. Now this is, consider this as a very big data and it can't be processed all at once. So what we did was just make this data split into two parts. First is the input split, that this is an apple and apple is in red color. These two data we have split that data into two parts. Now the data which we have splitted is again mapped, like this is an apple, so the frequency of this is 1, is 1, and is 1, and apple is 1. Similarly, the same thing is done with the second sentence also. The frequency is mapped and this is called the mapping process. Now after this mapping, the map is again shuffled, like this frequency is 1, so it is grouped as in one column. This is called the shuffling of the map data. Now is in two place, like one is here and the second one is here, so it is mapped in the single box. Like this, each and every data is segregated and then that data is reduced, like the total frequency of each calculated data is counted, and then that particular data is represented in the form of output by combining all data at once. So at last what happened is the input data got its corresponding output data by this input mapping, shuffling and reducing. So this is a kind of example which briefly explain about the architecture of the MapReduce, that how it is being used. And so This is the whole story which is written here about the working on of the map reduce. It works in the two phases, है ना. What is the need of map reduce? So it basically to process very large data set due to memory limitations. See, हमारे पास हर समय इतनी मेमोरी नहीं होती कि हम सारे लार्ज डेटा सेट को एक साथ प्रोसेस कर पाएँ. तो उस केस में मैप रिड्यूस बहुत ज़्यादा हेल्पफुल होता है हमारे लिए, क्योंकि ये मल्टीपल नोड्स पे बहुत सारे डेटा को पैरेलली प्रोसेस करने में हमारी मदद करता है. सो दिस होल स्टोरी इज द सेम रिटर्न कि पहले मैप फेस होगा जहाँ पे मैपिंग होगी डेटा की, फिर रिड्यूस होगा जैसे फ्रीक्वेंसी 1+1=2 हो गई थी वहाँ पे. तो इन द सिमिलर फैशन यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड एडवांटेजेस क्या है मैप रिड्यूस के. अगेन पैरेलल प्रोसेसिंग हैंडल करना, लार्ज डेटा सेट एफिशिएंटली प्रोसेस हो जाते हैं, फॉल्ट टॉलरेंस, हाईली स्केलेबल एंड ऑल दीज थिंग्स. एप्लीकेशंस ऑफ मैप रिड्यूस इज इट इज यूज्ड इन log analysis, word count problem. This is the word count problem which I have explained you. This is the word count problem which is there. Okay, so this is all about the map reduced, the need, the working and the advantages along with the suitable example. Now let us move on to the next topic, which is the VirtualBox. Now what is a VirtualBox? VirtualBox is a virtualization software that allows the user to run multiple operating systems on a single physical machine. Like type 2 hypervisor की तरह आप एक समझ सकते हैं. Hypervisor was initially which was making in contact between the hardware and the software. Well, what is the type 2 hardware which is making a contact between one physical machine to another entirely different physical machine in the form of a virtualization software. So it is making a contact between one software and another virtual software, which is a kind of virtualization we are doing with the help of this VirtualBox. Like for the same example, that if I am on the Windows machine and I want to run Linux machine, so I have to use a VirtualBox. And VMware also, there are different kind of virtualization software available produced by different like companies such as Oracle, Microsoft. Each one have their own virtualization software which is famous in the market, and the working of each of the VirtualBox is similarly same, that it behave like a real computer. Each virtual machine is allocated some of the CPU memory, storage, network resource from the host system. Now what is the advantage of these kind of VirtualBox? It is free obviously, and it is open source. Now VirtualBox is open source and it supports multiple operating system. Like you can run Linux, you can run Windows, you can run Mac OS also. And running Ubuntu Linux on a Windows laptop using the VirtualBox is a typical example of its utilization. Okay, I hope it is clear. Next topic is Google App Engine. Now what is Google App Engine? Google App Engine is a PaaS, like platform as a service provided by the Google, that allows developers to build, deploy and run application without managing the service key infrastructure. Like I have already told you in the previous videos where I have explained the IaaS, SaaS and PaaS, like they are as a service which is provided by the AWS. Similarly, Google App Engine is also a platform as a service which is provided by Google, which helps बेसिकली वहाँ पे हम अपनी सारी एप्लीकेशन को बिल्ड कर सकते हैं, डिप्लॉय कर सकते हैं. फुल फ्लेज्ड प्रिपेयर्ड प्लेटफॉर्म है. हमें वहाँ पे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की मतलब वरी करने की कोई भी नीड वहाँ पे नहीं होती है. व्हाट आर द की फीचर? ऑटोमेटिक स्केलिंग, बिल्ट इन सिक्योरिटी, लोड बैलेंसिंग एंड डेवलपर्स ओनली फोकस ऑन राइटिंग द एप्लीकेशन कोड. हम केवल अपना एप्लीकेशन कोड लिखने पे फोकस करेंगे एंड नॉट ऑन द इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर एंड द ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम रिलेटेड इश्यूज. कैसे वर्क करता है जस्ट इन अ ब्रीफ वे हम अगर समझे तो, फॉर द एग्जाम्स, द डेवलपर अपलोड्स द एप्लीकेशन कोड टू द गूगल ऐप इंजन. जो भी आपका कोड है वो आप जस्ट उस प्लेटफॉर्म पे अपलोड करिए. गूगल ऑटोमेटिकली हैंडल्स द सर्वर मैनेजमेंट, स्केलिंग, मॉनिटरिंग, मेंटेनेंस. अपने आप ही गूगल इन सारी चीज़ों की टेक केयर करेगा एंड द एप्लीकेशन स्केल्स अप एंड डाउन बेस्ड ऑन द यूजर ट्रैफिक. Like on the Diwali season, suppose if your e-commerce website is facing much issue, like much traffic, huge traffic, so Google उसी हिसाब से scale up और scale down करेगा based on the user traffic. Advantages क्या हैं? Overhead आपके से कम हो गया आपकी तरफ से, that you do not have to take care of the infrastructure as well. Speeds up the application development process. आप जल्दी से उन्हें develop करके deploy कर सकते हैं. And again like AWS, pay as you go pricing model पे work करता है Google App Engine. So mentioned in your syllabus, important for semester exams as well. Google App Engine is used for web application, mobile app backend and scalable cloud based services. So this is all about the गूगल ऐप इंजन। प्रोग्रामिंग एनवायरनमेंट्स की बात करें गूगल ऐप इंजन में, सो दे प्रोवाइड टूल्स लाइक APIs and other services that help the developer to deploy and build the application. Just like VS Code provides us many extensions to work on our code, that's how in the similar fashion Google App Engine is also providing us various APIs and services so that हमने अपने कोड को एप्लीकेशन को अच्छे से बिल्ड एंड डिप्लॉय कर पाएँ। फीचर्स क्या है? सपोर्ट मल्टीपल प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेजेस, प्रोवाइड SDKs एंड APIs इंटीग्रेटेड विद क्लाउड सर्विसेज लाइक डेटाबेस एंड स्टोरेज, ऑटोमेटिक वर्जन मैनेजमेंट करता है लाइक गिटहब की तरह, तो वो भी एक एडिशनल फीचर है जो गूगल ऐप इंजन हमें प्रोवाइड करता है। नेक्स्ट वन इज द डेवलपर लाइक बेनिफिट की अगर हम बात करें, डेवलपर कैन फोकस ऑन एप्लीकेशन लॉजिक रादर देन सर्वर्स मैनेजमेंट। तो सर्वर मैनेजमेंट से अगर हमारा पूरा वहाँ से लोड हट गया है क्योंकि दैट इज टेकन केयर बाय द गूगल, सो हमारा सारा फोकस कहाँ पे होगा? एप्लीकेशन एंड लॉजिक बिल्डिंग पे, सो वी कैन डू बेटर in the limited amount of time. Next important topic according to the exams is the OpenStack, and it is very important as it is mentioned in the syllabus also. Like जैसे AWS है, AWS की तरह ही OpenStack भी एक ओपन सोर्स क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग प्लेटफॉर्म है जो बिल्ड करने में एंड मैनेज करने में चीज़ों को मदद करता है। इट ऑल्सो प्रोवाइड प्राइवेट एंड पब्लिक क्लाउड। अब AWS के बारे में या पूरी क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग की इस वन शॉट सीरीज में हमने जितना भी पढ़ा है रिगार्डिंग द AWS, ईच एंड एवरीथिंग इज सिमिलरली एप्लीकेबल फॉर द ओपन स्टैक एज वेल। इसके बस थोड़े नेमिंग कन्वेंशन अलग हो जाएंगे। जैसे मेन सर्विसेज ओपन स्टैक की बात करें तो वही सिमिलर टू AWS है, कंप्यूट, स्टोरेज एंड नेटवर्क। एंड एडवांटेजेस की यदि हम बात करें तो ओपन स्टैक इज फ्लेक्सिबल, स्केलेबल, वेंडर इंडिपेंडेंट होता है और सूटेबल फॉर क्लाउड एंटरप्राइज क्लाउड एनवायरनमेंट जो होते हैं उनकी तरह ही सूटेबल होता है। द ओनली डिफरेंस दैट कम्स इज इन द नेमिंग कन्वेंशन, दैट ओपन स्टैक में क्या क्या आपके पास नेमिंग कन्वेंशन हो रहे हैं तो दैट इज डिफरेंट। जैसे वहाँ पे EC2 एंड S3 स्टोरेज ऐसे नेमिंग कन्वेंशन थे सर्विसेज के, ऐसे ही यहाँ पे नोवा, स्विफ्ट, सिंडर, न्यूट्रॉन, होराइजन, दीज आर सम ऑफ द सर्विसेज which is provided by the OpenStack platform, जो कि you don't need to memorize all of them. Just to have a glimpse, I have attached this diagram here so that it is very much clear that it is just a replica of AWS like only. It is also an open source cloud service provider which also provides its services. Now the next topic that we are going to cover is that is the federation in the cloud. Now what do you mean by the federation? Cloud federation basically refers to the interconnection of the multiple cloud providers to share the resources and the services. Federation मतलब to come in a single group. That multiple groups का अगर एक single group में combination हो जाता है तो that is called as a federation. Federation help in avoiding the vendor lock-in. Vendor lock-in, do you remember in the we discussed in the previous units as well कि vendor lock-in का मतलब होता है अगर आप एक vendor से अपनी services आप provide करवा रहे हो, जैसे like I am using AWS, so if I want to migrate my data to Microsoft Azure the next day, so I cannot do that simply because there is a kind of vendor lock-in, because the Microsoft Azure does not really have your information whatever you have stored in your AWS, and that really does not know that what kind of information you have stored in AWS. So that is a kind of I am logged inside of AWS at that point in time. So if there will be a federation between different cloud providers, so it will be help me to avoid that kind of vendor lock-in. I hope I am able to makes the sense. Improving availability, if there are multiple cloud service providers that are come in single group, then obviously it is going to increase my availability even more. Even if suppose the same example I would take, दिवाली के टाइम पे AWS डाउन था, तो अगर in case of this kind of cloud federation thing happens in future, so even if one cloud service provider is down, the another will take care of it. So ऐसा हम एक future चाहते हैं, that is a topic in this unit also, that is a future of federation. So this single line only summarizes the whole crux of this कि अगर in future only there will be a kind of federation in the cloud service provider, तो then it will be able to handle that kind of dispute जो अभी दिवाली के टाइम पे आउटेज हुआ था AWS का. हैंडलिंग पीक वर्कलोड, अगेन दिवाली पे बहुत ज़्यादा वर्कलोड था एंड फेस्टिव सीजन्स पे रहता है, सो पीक वर्कलोड को भी अलग अलग क्लाउड डिफरेंट प्रोवाइडर्स हमें हैंडल करने में मदद करेंगे एंड ऑब्वियसली इट विल ऑप्टिमाइज द ओवरऑल कॉस्ट. फॉर योर रेफरेंस, दिस इज द डायग्राम फ्रॉम द Geeks for Geeks I have attached here. There are multiple cloud providers. If they are connected together like a federated system, so it will be handled in the outage, similar outage that happened this year. 4 levels ऑफ फेडरेशन की यदि हम बात करें तो देयर आर डिफरेंट लेवल्स जो हम सेग्रीगेट कर सकते हैं फेडरेशन में. ऐसा नहीं है कि इफ वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट फेडरेशन ईच एंड एवरी लेयर एंटायर थिंग हैज़ टू बी फेडरेटेड. इट्स जस्ट 4 levels ऑफ फेडरेशन कि हम कहाँ तक अचीव कर पाते हैं. फर्स्ट वन इज द इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर लेवल फेडरेशन, शेयरिंग कंप्यूट स्टोरेज नेटवर्क रिसोर्सेज अक्रॉस क्लाउड्स. तो अगर हम इतना शेयर करते हैं देन वी आर एट द इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर लेवल. इफ वी आर शेयरिंग द डेवलपमेंट प्लेटफॉर्म and runtime environments also with the other cloud service provider, then we are at the platform level federation. If we are sharing the application that are running across multiple cloud service provider, then we are at the application level federation. And बिजनेस लेवल फेडरेशन कब हम अचीव कर पाएंगे, जब हमारी बिलिंग्स में, पॉलिसीज में एंड सर्विस एग्रीमेंट्स में हमारे डिफरेंट क्लाउड प्रोवाइडर इन्वॉल्व हो जाएंगे. सो दिस इज जस्ट अ लेवल ऑफ फेडरेशन कि हम किस लेवल तक अचीव कर पा रहे हैं फेडरेशन, उसकी जस्ट एक मैपिंग हमने बताई हुई है. So this is all about the levels of federation. Then there is a topic called federated services and application. It simply means that federated service allow applications to use resources from multiple cloud service provider seamlessly. Suppose I have an application termed as A. A application needs 3 resources from 3 different cloud service provider. So how easily it can be my application is able to get those resources from those cloud service provider are basically counted in the federated service. Now my application is using a federated service, means it can utilize one service of AWS and it can also utilize one service of Microsoft Azure on another OpenStack as well. So that is a kind of federated service I am referring to. What is the beneficiality? That is high availability, better scalability and low balancing across the cloud. Obviously अगर हम AWS की 3 resources को use कर रहे हैं and then we are using one resource of AWS, one of Azure and one of any other provider, so then load obviously distribute हो जाएगा जब various clouds पे, then it will be resulting in better scalability and availability. Example, an application using storage from one cloud and computing from the another cloud, so that is also possible. What is the future of federation we are going to see? Future of federation is nothing but it is a kind of what I can say, the future of federation focus on greater interoperability and intelligent resource sharing. यही future है, that is I have already explained above, to generate a kind of greater interoperability कि हम एक क्लाउड में के साथ साथ दूसरे क्लाउड पर भी ऑपरेट कर पाएँ, ऑटोमेट कर पाएँ एंड इंटेलिजेंट रिसोर्स शेयरिंग कर पाएँ. एक्सपेक्टेड डेवलपमेंट जो हमारी रहेगी आने वाले फ्यूचर में वो यही है कि हम अपने स्टैंडर्ड्स को ज़्यादा बढ़ाएं. कौन? क्लाउड सर्विस प्रोवाइडर. बेटर सिक्योरिटी मैनेजमेंट हम कर पाएँ सारे क्लाउड सर्विस प्रोवाइडर आपस में. AI ड्रिवन क्लाउड मैनेजमेंट इज समथिंग विच इज़ बूमिंग इन दिस एरा, सो integrating AI with the cloud as well is really much essential in this era, and seamless multi-cloud integration is also essential in order to see a clear bright future of federation. Federation will play a major role in building global and scalable cloud ecosystem. Obviously अगर कोई ग्लोबल लेवल की हम एप्लीकेशन के स्केल डिप्लॉय करने की बात कर रहे हैं देन फेडरेशन विल मेक मच मोर सेंस. Okay, so I hope I am clear in my point, and with this is a really concise unit and I guess I am clear on all the topics. Federation is the main focus of this unit, so you can expect one question from it. OpenStack platform is still important. If you you can just skim that part. And MapReduce and Hadoop is, I believe, another important topic from this unit. With this, all the 5 units of cloud computing subject is completed. You can refer to the complete playlist on my channel. Whole cloud computing is completed. And thank you so much for following this series. If you have reached till here, so thank you so much. Please like, share, subscribe my video. Thank you so much.